If you've ever been told you have a motility problem and you left that appointment feeling a little more confused than clear, then this video is going to be for you. Because motility problem sounds like an answer, but it's really not. It's a label. And if you've been dealing with chronic diarrhea, urgency, loose stools, bowel movements that feel completely out of control, being told it's just motility is one of the most misleading things that you can hear. And in this video, I'm going to show you why. I'm also going to walk you through two real cases of women who were told their only option was a surgically implanted device to control their bowels and why that still didn't fix their problem. So stay with me until the end, because if you've been told your gut is just moving too fast, you need to hear what's actually causing that. And before we dive in, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Because if you're tired of being told everything's normal while your gut is clearly not normal, you've come to the right place. Let's talk about what doctors mean when they say motility problem. Let's break this down. Motility is just the movement of food and waste through your digestive tract. That's it. It's how fast or slow things move through the gut. So when someone tells you that you have a motility problem, what they're really saying is your bowels are moving too fast or your bowels are moving too slow. That's not an answer. That's not a root cause. It's not a diagnosis, and it's not an explanation. It's the equivalent of saying you have diarrhea. Okay, but why? Why is it happening? Why is the gut speeding up? Why is it irritated? Why is the body trying to push everything out so quickly? That's the part most people never get their answers to, and that's exactly where the problem begins. So let's talk about what the problem is with treating motility like it's the root cause. When you treat motility like it's the actual issue, you miss the real issue. And once that happens, these solutions usually start looking like things like medications to slow everything down, fiber powders, anti-diarrheal drugs, or in severe cases, a surgically implanted device to try to regulate your bowel function. Yes, that's a real thing. And I've worked with women who were told that was the last option for them. That was their best option. Sometimes it helps a little bit. I have worked with clients who said it helped a little. Sometimes it does absolutely nothing. And now they're left with a permanent implanted device in their body while the real root cause is still sitting there completely untouched, still driving inflammation, still disrupting digestion, damaging their gut lining, creating symptoms. That's the part that nobody talks about. You do not just wake up one day with a motility disorder. That's the other thing. This is where most people are never told that you don't just wake up one day and here it is, your motility problem out of nowhere. Motility changes because something is disrupting the environment in your gut. Something's irritating the digestive system. Something's creating inflammation. Something is signaling your body to speed things up and get those things out. That something is usually not random. And in women with chronic diarrhea, urgency, so-called motility problems, what I find most often is bacterial overgrowths, parasites, yeast, fungal overgrowth, mold, toxic burden, inflammation in the gut lining, very depleted short-chain fatty acids, low secretory IgA, poor gut immune function, severely disrupted beneficial bacteria. These are not small issues. These are the things that change the environment of the gut. These are the things that irritate the gut lining. These are the things that disrupt the signaling. And when that environment becomes inflamed or unstable, the gut speeds up. That is what gets labeled a motility problem. So let's talk about the real reason the gut speeds up. Your body's not stupid. Your body's not broken, and your gut's not just malfunctioning for no reason. When the digestive tract senses irritation, inflammation, pathogens, toxins, fermentation, or any kind of microbial chaos, it tries to move things out of there faster. That's a protective response. The gut speeds up because the environment's hostile. So if the body's trying to move irritants out and you force everything to slow down and hold them in, what do you think happens? Now all of that stuff is just sitting in there. The bacteria sit there longer, the toxins sit there longer, the fermentation gets worse, the inflammation gets worse, the fire is still burning, You just took the batteries out of the smoke alarm. Let's talk about one of the clients. I had a client, Linda, who was told she had severe motility issues. She had chronic diarrhea, urgency, cramping. Her symptoms were severe enough that she was told her best option was an implanted device to help control her bowels. So she did it. And instead of getting better, she actually got worse. Because when we ran advanced testing and we looked deeper, what we actually found was this. We found multiple bacterial overgrowths, including Aeromonas and Fusobacterium, both highly inflammatory and toxic, severely depleted beneficial bacteria, low secretory IgA, which means that her gut's immune system was really struggling. We found imbalanced fatty acids and depleted short-chain fatty acids. Her gut was inflamed. Her microbiome was very unstable. Her immune defenses were low, her digestive environment was a mess, and none of that showed up on the testing that her doctors had done before. She had been told everything looks normal, but it was not normal, it was missed. What happens when you slow down an infected, inflamed gut? This is the part people don't understand, but they really need to. When you slow down bowel activity without addressing what's actually irritating the gut, you are not fixing the problem, you are trapping the problem. You're slowing down an environment that's already inflamed. You're giving bacteria more time to ferment, more time to grow, more time to spread. That's why so many women are told they have a motility disorder, get the treatment, and still feel terrible because the gut was never too fast for no reason. It was reacting to something. So Linda is one of my most recent clients. I also had another one, Mary, who was told the same thing. Same label, same recommendations, same implanted device. And just like Linda, it didn't fix the problem because the problem was never her motility. It was what was driving the motility. That was the difference. It's what's driving it. And that is what changes everything. Both Linda and Mary stopped settling for those labels. They wanted actual answers. So we tested properly. We looked deeper. We found what was actually driving the dysfunction. And then we addressed it strategically, not by masking symptoms, not by forcing the gut to be quiet, but by fixing what was actually making these symptoms happen in the first place. Once we addressed those actual drivers, the diarrhea stopped for both ladies. Their bowel movements normalized. They had normal formed stools. They could leave the house without panic. They could travel without fear. They could eat without planning their entire life around the nearest bathroom. And most importantly, they stopped thinking about their gut. That's the real goal, not just symptom management, but the freedom that you get with that. And that didn't happen because a device saved them. It happened because they finally got a real answer. So if you've been told you have a motility problem, here's what I want you to understand. Motility problem is not your answer. It's a description. It's a label. It's not the reason that this is happening to you. If you've been told you have IBS, functional diarrhea, a motility problem, or your gut just moves too fast, please understand that that is not the full story. There's always a reason your gut's behaving this way. Always. You just haven't been shown where to look yet. You don't have the right data. If this sounds like your story, make sure to subscribe, like this video, because this is exactly what we talk about on this channel. And if this helped you understand your gut in a way that no one else explained before, hit that little notification bell, hit like, drop a comment below, and tell me what diagnosis you were given. I'd love to hear what you were told. And if you're ready to stop chasing labels and start finding answers, keep watching my videos. You can also click the link, I'll put it below, that takes you to my free training. See you in the next video.